Call of Duty. Alright, that's the video, guys. Thanks for watching. No, but today I wanted to talk about kind of my biggest gripe with first-person shooters in recent years. This, honestly, being the focus on realism. Now, I don't want to quote the GOAT, but I do think he said it best.
He's sitting in a design review and somebody say, that's not realistic. And you're like, okay, what does that have to, like, explain to me why that's interesting, because in the real world, I have to write up lists of stuff I have to go to the grocery store to buy. And I have never thought to myself that realism is fun. I go play games to have fun.
In my opinion, realism, when done tastefully, it can easily amplify the game when it is the focus. For example, Modern Warfare 2019, Ready or Not, Arma, other games like that, even War Thunder. That said, Call of Duty is definitely the biggest culprit for this. With recent CODs releasing and everyone basically saying the same thing.
Oh, so basically the same game 7 years ago?
I'm bringing this all up because of what started in 2019. With the marketing campaign for the release of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019, it was said to be edgy, culturally relevant, and thought-provoking. And with that being the mission plan for the game, they had to keep their word. Infinity Ward wanted a statement and a return to form with this game, showcasing the realistic side of modern conflicts, yet kept their roots. Military storytelling. They wanted to keep the universe they rebooted as grounded as possible with the characters, set pieces, and so much more. For almost every action scene in the game, you can tell they weren't kidding with this. Let's just look at a clean house mission. I've watched dozens of gameology videos of, veterans reacting to this mission in all of the game, and all of them say the same thing. Now, I don't want to polish this game off any more than I probably have to, but I just want to give it its roses because of how impactful it was to the rest of the series. With this being a first-person shooter, and taking everything I've said before into consideration, the weapons had to be just as good. That being said, they decided to go all out and design 39 incredibly made recreations of the real-world counterparts. Then, they went all over the top with their groundbreaking gunsmith mechanic, allowing players to add up to 5 different attachments on each weapon without affecting the player's class. This removed, obviously, the fan-favorite Pick 10 system from however many CODs beforehand, and just looking at the gameplay, you can immediately see the wear and tear and the detail shown on these weapons. And if you thought that was just as good, take a listen. Infinity Ward will always be one of my favorite studios because of the effort they took to make this stand out compared to the other 16 years this franchise built up to. The thing is, the statement, same game 7 years later, is arguably wrong. You can tell in the past 6 years, there has been passion and a lot of love into these games, whether that's from the devs of Sledgehammer, Treyarch, and even Infinity Ward. You can tell they put their time into it. Whether you like it or not, you can definitely tell there are some. Even if that is, the multiplayer experience standing out compared to the campaign, MW3, or the zombies falling flat. Other parts of the game amplify it to make it worth it. Now, with that, whatever I title this section, I hope they better know I'm passionate about this series. That being said, we gotta work on better reloads. I believe I titled this section Milkage, which I guess I'll just explain why I called it that. So what I really wanted to get off with that was literally the fact that I feel that Modern Warfare 2019 did such a good thing and how it stood out that much that it gave them the wrong message almost of wanting to basically replicate that as much as possible and give them basically like just kind of like a fallback on that would work for the rest of the games afterwards. Now, I think there is a couple of like exceptions and stuff. Like Cold War was on a different engine, and it had more of like the kind of cartoony, more arcadey style, which I didn't really want to like shit talk Cold War that much because I definitely think it is like a standout game in the past couple of years. Shit, that was 5-6 years ago now. Damn. You can, obviously have your feelings on that game and stuff, but you can definitely see that there is a difference between that and also Modern Warfare 2019. But for Vanguard, I never played personally Vanguard. I played like a couple of like the free betas or like the like free passes or whatever they had for like a little bit. So like I got like a good enough vibe that basically what I got from it was basically Modern Warfare 2019, but like with World War II weapons and stuff, which I've heard some things about Vanguard and stuff, and obviously everyone wants to shit on like the story and kind of like the zombies and stuff, but like overall, like, the gameplay has a good format. Like, Modern Warfare 2019 is a good format to follow. However, you can just kind of feel it gets repetitive after a time, where, you know, you're basically just doing the same thing, like, movement wise, and, you know, just playing the same game but on different maps and stuff, which maybe that's the end goal. I don't really know. The biggest thing, which I don't know if every gun has kind of like a quote-unquote tactical reload or not, but, like, I always find that really funny on how, I don't know the entire terminologies and stuff too, so Bailey, if you want, you can put them up on the screen. But I know I watch a couple of devlogs and stuff of the new, like, horseshoes, hot dogs, and hand grenades game that's coming out. I don't know when. It's supposed to be sometime this year. But the game, the lead dev for that game has really insightful, like, kind of things for, like, just kind of like gun stuff, and with, like, the biggest thing for animations on, like, the hands that you have to use with, like, obviously the controller, like, a big thing is, like, you know, doing, like, mag palming reloads or something, where basically you have, like, additional, like, the mag that you're going to use to exchange, okay, you use that, you hold that, and then you grab the other one that's currently in the gun, and then you, like, exchange it, I guess, and then you, like, keep the one that you just took out of the gun. Bam. I don't know how to explain it without it sounding dumb, I guess, but I'll probably have, like, an example on the background. Like, you know, that was my biggest thing that I kind of felt was the biggest standout for nowadays. Like, I think the thing that sucks, though, okay, and I'm sorry, this is all over the fucking place, is that I don't think realism or the focus on being like, oh, well, that's actually what they would do in this scenario, like, you know, but it's like, we gotta be a little bit more, like, arcadey, I think, okay? I think that in this scenario, it's a fictional fucking world, okay? So you have the freedom, okay, to do anything you really want, like, you know, in Black Ops 2, okay? And 94, you're not, in any scenario, I don't see anyone in an actual fucking, you know, fictional, okay, first of all, in what scenario are you gonna deploy troops to an active nuclear testing grounds, okay? In what scenario are you gonna be doing that? And in that range, you're not going to be wanting to care about, like, the actual realistic parts of that fictional world that make no sense. I don't see the point in having, like, okay, well, you know, you're reloading a gun, it doesn't really matter the setting, but I think the setting definitely has some impact on that. Like, in BO6, okay, Gulf War, you know, 1990, most of the military and most of, like, the training, I'm sure, probably was not up to par compared to what it is nowadays, you know? So maybe that could have been a good reasoning to have more out there reloads and stuff, which I will say, Black Ops 6 did have some good iconic reloads. Like, I think it's the Amos 95. I always loved that one. I don't know if I'll put that up on the screen. I don't know if I moved over the clips or not properly, but, like, there is ways to make these iconic like, reloads. I mean, I'm talking out of my ass now, I'm not gonna lie, but I definitely will say that you can work around this stuff to make it still kind of realistic. You can have this kind of, like, workaround aspect of it, but, like, try to make it a little bit more flashy, but also keep it, like, toned down where it doesn't take too long for a reload, but make it, like, realistic. Or, like, I don't know, like, I don't know what the fuck I'm saying, okay? What I'm trying to get at is I feel that Call of Duty is kind of in a tough spot for the fact that whatever they want to do now, they kind of have to tone it down a little bit because of what Modern Warfare 2019 started, okay? Modern Warfare 2019 was incredibly impactful to the rest of the games, you know, speaking of that whole debate of, you know, same game 7 years later, blah, 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 blah. I definitely think that doesn't help with the fact that the reloads and the guns feel the exact same as they have in Modern Warfare 2019. That's literally the point of the video. I feel like that's probably the biggest breakaway, is that you can argue that the guns feel quote-unquote different and stuff, but on the same engine that it's been on since, like, 2019, basically. I mean, there's, like, different modifications and all that stuff, but, like, there's yet to be a groundbreaking engine and stuff where it feels, like, really that, like, insane. I definitely will say, too, that I think that it helps insanely to have different engines for each game. I know this is also so much more work for the team, so obviously I know this is never going to happen again, but I definitely think that would be a good way to combat this entire thing, maybe, of having, like, you know, Treyarch have its own engine with Omni movement and everything like that, to where it amplifies that and all that stuff, and then they can just kind of work on that from now on. But with everyone really needing to help each other out so much, like, I think Treyarch has helped the last 5 different CODs, 6 CODs. It's been like, it's really hard to keep everyone separate when they all work together. So like, you need to have an engine that everyone is trained on and all that stuff. So like, it makes sense for why they're doing that. It just sucks because it's not helping the argument for that, because they do feel the same, you know, half the time. Like BO6 to BO7, it feels basically the same, except you can jump off a wall. Like that's it, really. It would be way cooler to see now if we had, like, the 3-year COD cycle, and then we had those literally, like, you know, in the background, they're working on a new engine for, like, you know, BO3 and stuff. Like, BO3 is such a huge gap in graphics and also just, like, the feel of it compared to BO2, and same with BO2 to BO1. Like, even me and my brother were talking about this. Like, BO1 looks so much worse, in my opinion, than than MW2. And MW2 came out the year before, but it's like, just because of how they did, like, the filtering and, like, the kind of, like, overall, like, aesthetic of that game, they just amplify it to work on the current, like, hardware. But now I feel like with such an infatuation with, like, wanting to look realistic and not really having their own kind of style, it makes more sense to just have everything separate than keep everything on the same HQ, same engine, for however many years, and then they can split it off afterwards. Like, I think BO6 now is officially, like, on its own launcher and everything like that. Like, it's still 100 gigs for some reason. I would love if they could try that again. Like, the next engine and stuff, have, like, maybe Sledgehammer use it, so then they can still, like, kind of, like, I don't know, like, or it would be really cool if we could have, you know, different games go back to, like, maybe the Modern Warfare Remastered engine, I think is what it was, because that's what COD World War II used. I know that. And that feels way more classic, and that's why that game was probably, like, the last real, like, boots on the ground game, you know? I know BO4 was and stuff, but, like, you know what I mean, okay? You can do tactical reloads. That's perfectly fine. It's just, like, the overall, like, monotonous of it, like, the monotonism, is that the word? I don't know. Of the fact that it's just always the same for, like, the same type of weapon. There's no really, like, they all kind of mesh together is what I'm really trying to get at. And it doesn't really, like, separate weapons from being them, like, you know, kind of being, like, iconic and stuff. It's like, you can have so many different weapons and stuff that are really well made, but it's like, when you milk what was so good and what made a game stand out, it ruins it for the rest of the games that it's trying to emulate. I thought I cooked. That's on me. I don't know if that made sense. I'll put up on text, I'm sure, if it didn't. But whatever I use on in the background, I hope it kind of showcases my point. I think, honestly, it'll probably just me playing BO2. Honestly, I've been playing a bunch of the port. And I have work in probably 4 hours, so we're trying to get this done. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I think I definitely ruined this video at the end part, so I'm sorry if that is the case. But, yeah, expect a video on Monday. I don't know what yet. I think right now, I think as of now, it might be a Left 4 Dead or Payday video. I've been playing a bunch of Payday 2. And Left 4 Dead, I've been having a lot of fun playing. So I don't know, I'm kind of in, like, a OG friend slap kind of era right now. So mainly what I'm trying to get at with this video too is that I just want COD to kind of go back to its normal roots. This is very basic, you know. This is not a new take by any means. I just kind of wanted to have my own little spin on it, because that's, like, I will say it first, I'm like a freak for, like, some detailed weapons, or, like, you know, kind of, like, realistic, you know, depictions of weapons. And, like, you know, oh, like, when Modern Warfare 2 came out and stuff, and I saw a video of, like, how, like, inspections of guns and stuff, and I love the inspections of Modern Warfare, right? Like, just, I love the, like, the, you know, messing with the weapon and stuff, and how it interacts with the player and vice versa. It's, like, really cool, and especially when it's well made. Like, sign me up, you know? But when I saw Modern Warfare 2 and how, like, they had different inspects depending on if, you know, it was reload, like if it was out of ammo or with ammo and stuff. I just love that. Like that's such a cool detail and stuff. Like if you have like an empty shotgun and stuff, like you just kind of like check it, you know, boom, boom, put like your little finger in the tube, you know, like I don't know, you just kind of mess with the gun, and to have it like actually work for that and stuff, it's just like really nice features and stuff and details that obviously I think should be put into the next games, you know. So I'm kind of feeding the flame for what I'm saying. But also, like, I don't want that to be, like, kind of holding people down, you know? If that is, like, oh, fuck, now I have to keep the guns realistic because of so-and-so. It's like, that also kind of sucks, too, if they are putting themselves in that. Because it's like, I think Cold War definitely had probably the worst thing of that, too, because, like, everyone was so hyped with Modern Warfare 2019. And then when Cold War came out and it was more arcadey and stuff, then people probably got a little bit more, you know, cheesed that it wasn't, like, as realistic as Modern Warfare 2019. But it's like, who cares, man? It's like you had fun on the game. You're having fun. It's like that's what games are meant for, you know. And probably that's the end goal. Okay, have fun with making games. I know that's definitely seeming like more of a trend now, which I'm glad, I guess. But I hope people take this video, I guess, and maybe work with it. I don't know. But genuinely, I'm looking forward to Modern Warfare 4. I had an entire part in the script where I skipped. But I'm kind of getting hyped for everything that they've basically been saying about Modern Warfare 4. I'm definitely the problem. I know that.